this is Maxon from Small Cuts. Today we're going to look at resin models from Scotia Grendel. First, we have some vehicles from their Criomax science fiction range. These are all resin castings with white metal detail parts, and generally speaking they come in two halves, the bottom half and the top half, and then the turret piece. But the cool thing about these is that the vehicle parts are actually standard size, so they are pretty modular. You can easily mix and match the parts if you like. And actually Scotia Grendel offers most of the vehicles in different configurations. So you get these nifty grab vehicles with this nice flying stand, and then there's the tracked version and this hover version and also a wheeled version. All of them are not available in all the versions, but as the parts are interchangeable, you can buy two vehicles and mix and match any way you like. And actually these days, if I were to build these today, I would probably magnetize the halves and paint a couple of vehicles in similar camo schemes, and then I could switch out the parts any way I like. The catalog is actually a bit misleading, since it's actually just multiple combinations of the same basic parts, the tops, the bottoms, and different turrets. The detail parts are white metal, as I told you, like the gun barrels and the antennas, which have a really bad tendency to bend all over the place. They also offer these nice alien vehicles with this cute bug-eyed look and also bendy antennas. They also have multiple versions. I only have this tracked version, but I know there's at least a hover version available for these vehicles. All the vehicles have this nice rough texture on them that makes them take dry brushing really well, but it can make it a bit difficult to paint neat camo schemes or stuff like that. Actually, you would probably be better off using an airbrush for these. One final thing about the vehicles is that as old-style resin castings, they are pretty small compared to more modern plastic kit vehicles. As you can see, compared to these old-style Rhino models, they are already looking pretty small, and compared to the newer style plastic kits, they start to look pretty small, really. But compared to actual infantry models, I don't think they look that bad. It's really just the comparison to the newer style of plastic kits when you notice the difference. On the plus side, these vehicles don't take huge amounts of real estate on the gaming table, and you can actually drive them down an alley or something like that. Also in the Criomax line we have these buildings. They are also pretty modular and come with interchangeable parts, like these towers with the different tops you can get for them. But I do have to say that the line is a bit wargamey, and almost everything comes with guns or missile launchers on it. Most of the different tops are different sorts of turrets actually. And if you are building a large base, it is easy to end up with the base literally bristling with guns and cannons and missile launchers, which might not be the most realistic look. But I have to say that I really like these missile silos. They make nice objective markers. Then we also have these connecting corridors. that can be used to link the different buildings with each other. There is also a junction piece, which I don't have painted right now. And there's another type of module, more connecting corridors. Even more stuff. We're running out of room in the picture, so let's take a flyby look at everything. The buildings are actually pretty easy to paint. Really, the only thing I've done with these is given them a heavy dry brush of gray over black primer and then just picked out some details in different colors. And the black domes are just plain black, gloss coated, and that's it. These are really easy to do, and you can have them looking reasonably okay at least. They also have a wide range of interior accessories, both in fantasy and science fiction. Here we have some torture room furniture, a column, a set of stairs, a dungeon doorway, more columns, a cryo chamber from the sci-fi line, normal bed, stack of barrels, always handy, more torture stuff. They don't really have a full dungeon set like with all the walls and floors. Even they do have some floor tiles, but for the most part these are meant to decorate your rooms that you have constructed with something else. More doorways there. Another bed. Oh, this one is for your mommy. Quite frankly, I think this stuff was not actually intended for wargamers, but for role players to be used decorating the dungeon floor plans and such that they use. And it is pretty handy and in that sort of use. Okay, let's take another flyby. Most of this stuff is single piece castings, but some of them, most notably the columns, actually come in two pieces. So you actually have an option to leave them as half columns if you like. The stuff that we have seen so far I have painted 10 to 15, even 20 years ago, and the painting is what it is. But to give you an idea what this stuff looks like before I spoiled it with my crappy painting, I found some unstarted kits in my archive. So there's this swamp creature. I haven't done anything with this. This is the way they come in the box. So this is the large base for the tentacle guy, and then we have the actual tentacles. There is a little casting artifact there to file off. I would probably pin these parts. Looks like one of the tentacles has broken in the box, which can happen with resin models, but fortunately the breaks are usually pretty clean and they are easy to fix. The nice thing about these models is that many of the parts come from single piece molds, meaning that there basically is no mold line to take care of. Some of them, like these tentacles, are cast in two-part molds, and then there is a small mold line to take care of, but it's really nothing bad. Like this, the giant base is from a single part mold. So one of the sides is flat and featureless, but that's also where the only mold line is. Anything on the other side is basically completely free of any casting defects, which is really nice. Then we have the Barbarian King's Longhouse. This reminds me of a newer kit by somebody else, but I don't recall who makes that. This is very old and it's okay. It comes in multiple parts. You can theoretically at least actually place miniatures inside it. And it looks like all of these parts are coming from single piece molds, though there is just a little bit of neatening on the edge over there, and then they are done. This roof piece fits there nicely, like there. And then we also have the giant skull doorway, which just goes there. It's really easy to assemble, and the parts fit pretty well together. One of the things how you can tell these models are really old is that the boxes are also deteriorating, like the glue on the label has just given off. And actually, if you buy a new Scotia Grendel model this day, you may very well get a box like that, because it may have been cast many years ago, but there's nothing really wrong with the model. It's just that the boxes don't take storage as well. Alright, there we have the battering ram, and I almost thought that there were useful instructions, but no, it's just some generic stuff that any modeler is really supposed to know anyway, so we'll just chuck that. Thankfully, all the boxes come with pretty nice cover art, and the models are really pretty simple, so you can just usually just look at the cover and you can figure out how the model is supposed to be built. Here we have the battering ram, which fits on the supports there. There is a featureless underside, which is a feature of the casting method, but it's going to be hidden pretty well inside there, so most people won't notice that. Then we have the wheels, which also have flat other side. Oh, that's the giant fist. You gotta like that. And more pieces. This is really one of the most complex kits that Grendel does. Most of their stuff is much simpler to assemble. Alright, one final thing to mention. While these models are very old for the most part, and perhaps a little bit old school in style, their prices have also not been updated in many years, so by modern standards, this stuff is dirt cheap, and it is all still available directly from the manufacturer. You don't have to go to eBay to buy it. Thanks for watching. I hope you have found this informative. If you like this stuff, like. If you really like, subscribe, and see you next time.